Hello, I'm Julie Zamosny, Staff Development Coordinator for the Western Maryland Regional Library. Welcome to this brief video tutorial on how to physically navigate the iPad. Additional computer software such as iTunes, which is needed to fully experience the iPad, will be covered in a separate tutorial. Let's start by just opening the box and discovering what's inside. Of course, we have the iPad, which is roughly the size of a piece of letter paper. We also have an illustrated quick start guide, which I recommend reading in addition to this tutorial in order to really become familiar with this amazing technology. Lastly, we have the USB cable, which you'll use to connect the iPad to the computer, and to the wall adapter, which is also included in the box for your convenience. Now let's take a look at the anatomy of the iPad's hardware. At the top of the iPad on the right-hand side, we have the on-off or sleep-wake button. At the top on the left-hand side, we have the earphone jack. On the right side of the iPad, we have the rotation lock slider and the volume controls. On the bottom of the iPad, we have the USB cable jack, and directly above that, on the front surface of the iPad, is the home button. We'll be covering these in more detail in just a moment. The on-off or sleep-wake button has multiple functions, as you might have guessed by its name. If the iPad is off, press and hold this button for a few seconds until a white apple appears in the center of the screen. If you want to turn the iPad completely off, press and hold the same button for a few seconds until a prompt asks you to confirm your decision. If you simply want to save power but not shut down the iPad, which is known as putting it to sleep, simply press and release the same on-off button and you'll hear the screen click off. Repeat the same step to awaken the iPad. When the iPad is awake, you'll see what's called the home screen, which looks similar to what you see here. There may be more icons, which are called apps, short for applications, but you will always have access to the standard 13 applications shown here. If you're setting up the iPad for the first time and you have Wi-Fi access or wireless internet, you'll want to configure those settings first. To do this, touch the Settings app as indicated here. When the Settings menu opens, look to the left-hand column. At the very top you'll see Wi-Fi. Tap the Wi-Fi option and the right-hand side of the screen will change, allowing you to select or to set up internet connections. As seen here, the library's freely available patron Wi-Fi connection is automatically detected. If you're configuring the Wi-Fi settings for a home connection that may be password protected, you'll need to enter that information by tapping the Other button and manually entering the SSID code as determined by your internet provider. Once you're connected to the Wi-Fi, you can surf the internet using the Safari app. Anywhere you go on a regular computer, you can go on the iPad as well. Some places, like Borders, who offer free Wi-Fi, will prompt you to agree to their terms and conditions as soon as you open Safari, so don't let that alarm you. Whenever you want to exit out of an app, simply push the Home button, as seen here circled in red. Once back to the home screen, you can use other apps, like the iTunes Store app, which allows you to log into iTunes using your personal account in order to download freely available and proprietary apps, games, podcasts, music, audiobooks, and more. Just be sure to log out of the iTunes Store app when you're finished, so the next user can log in and access his or her account. More details about iTunes will be provided in a separate video. Another popular use for the iPad is as an e-book reader. You can download freely available apps such as the free eBooks app and then download ebooks which you can then read at your leisure. Thank you for watching this mini video on how to use the iPad, but there's still so much more to discover, so if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, Julie Zamosny, at the email shown on the screen, and contact Dennis McPherson to reserve your copy of the iPad today.